That's gonna hurt. Hey, welcome back to the Music Snob, where I know music. Yeah, unless it sucks. I hope you agree. If you don't, well, we can't be friends. I don't know. I would like to be friends. Sometimes I'd like to be more. But don't take that the wrong way. Please don't. No, 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 no. I'm not a drummer, okay? You could tell, right? The whole point there. No, I'm not talking about John Cougar, okay? If you clicked on this, you know what I'm talking about. I want to talk about Kenny Aronoff, and that's the reason I played that. Well, it's not really a good mimic, is it? No, it's not. But one of the first things he played on was John Cougar Mellencamp, John Mellencamp. One of the first things he played on was John Cougar's American Fool, and of course the most significant single off that would have been Hurt So Good, and you know that part, but the way I played it, I had to throw the guitar in there just to make it a little bit more obvious. I'm sorry, okay? How much did you pay to watch this? Are you paying to see this? Because seriously, I don't think that's a good idea. This is kind of becoming a series of what I would call unsung heroes, okay? Now, I used to do profiles before I was monetized of actual singers, musicians, bands that I looked up to. But then I started getting into stuff where I was talking about the producers that people don't always talk about. And somebody, you know who you are, said, you should talk about Kenny Aronoff. And why should I talk about Kenny Aronoff? Because not everybody knows who Kenny Aronoff is, but they should, because he's one of the best drummers that ever lived. He is ranked is one of the best drummers, besides what I'm saying. Other people that are more interesting or intelligent than me think he's one of the best drummers. And right now he's playing with Sammy Hagar on the Best of All Worlds residency, but he's been playing with him a lot off and on over the years. So I want to talk about Kenny Aronoff and other artists, maybe producers, maybe unsung people maybe you don't know about. Now, this is the first time I'm going to do one about a specific let's say, hired gun. And maybe I'll do some more in the future. Like, a lot of times, a drummer who plays with, like, everybody knows Alex Van Halen, but he's really only ever played with Van Halen, obviously. Everybody knows Neil Peart. Everybody knows that. But really, how many other bands have you heard of that he's been in? But you don't know there is a group of musicians that play with various different artists. It's not always the same. Sometimes it's in the studio, sometimes it's actually on the road. And if you pay attention, if you read the liner notes, whatever, you might recognize the name. Maybe if you are a drum aficionado, then yeah, you know who Kenny Aronoff is. So the majority of people that are clicking on this probably know exactly who Aronoff is. Right now, he's doing the best of all worlds with Sammy Hagar and Michael Anthony and Joe Satriani and I don't know what the other guy's name is. I didn't look it up. But he has recorded or toured with the Stones, the Pumpkins, Sting, and here's the weird one, Garth Brooks. I didn't know that. He has taught drumming. He owns Uncommon Studios in LA. And he has been recognized by Rolling Stone, not me, Rolling Stone and Modern Drummer magazine. Let's get into it. Kenneth D. Aronoff. D is in drummer. Dynamic. Born March 7th, 1953 in Albany, New York. Grew up in Stockbridge, Massachusetts. I don't even know where that is. I studied classical music at the University of Massachusetts and also Indiana University, where he graduated in 1976. He went on to study jazz and fusion before joining some bands in Indiana. Now, it's 1980. He joined John Cougar Mellencamp, and he stayed with him for 17 years before he officially left that. Then he's been playing with John Fogerty since 1996. Who knew? Was associate professor of percussion at Indiana University from 93 to 97. And 2016, Rolling Stone ranked him number 66 of the 100 greatest drummers of all time. Modern Drummer named him the number 1 pop rock drummer and number 1 studio drummer for 5 years in a row. Pretty good deal. So let's get into some of the stuff that he has done. Let's do that. Now, the reason I want to talk about this is because maybe you've heard, but you don't pay attention. Maybe you just pay attention to the actual, the singer, the artist, whatever. I'm one of the guys, back when you had physical media, remember that? Before your Spotify and your, like garbage. You'd buy a CD or a cassette or a Victrola or whatever the hell. You bring it home, you open it up, and look, you see this guy played guitar and this guy played drums. And that's where I like to do that. And you can sit there, you can have your thing going, whatever, you listen to the tunes while you're reading it, read the lyric sheet. That's the kind of guy I am. That's how I roll. 1982. John Cougar, American Fool. He was the guy. He was the main guy. He was the drummer. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to name albums that he has played on just for the sake of you go back and you listen to that album, you go, holy crap. And maybe you'll start to recognize the way those drums were played and see what a talent this guy is. Now, I'm not going to say every single thing because there's stuff I've never even heard of. So if I haven't heard of it, being a music snob, maybe you also haven't heard of it. So what's the point of wasting more time? So 1983. John Cougar Mellencamp. I think he was still John Cougar back then. He played drums on that. 1985, John Cougar Mellencamp, Scarecrow. Now, not only did he play drums, he also played tambourine and the vibraphone. I can't read my own writing. And he also did backup vocals, and that's pretty good. 1986, Brian Setzer. Remember Brian Setzer of the Stray Cats? He played on an album called The Knife Feels Like Justice. He did drums and percussion. 1987, The Lonesome Jubilee, John Cougar Mellencamp. And again, drums, tambourine, vibraphone. I don't even know what a vibraphone is. I think I had a vibraphone in my pants once. I'd see a doctor. Hammer dulcimer. I say I'm a music snob. Congas, and he also did backups. 1987. Now this one I did not see. Now I'm learning as I go. I knew well, I've really only known about Aronoff for about the last 10 years, and even then I thought he was awesome. But I just thought he was more of a touring guy, fill-in guy. But reading this stuff, finding out some of this stuff. 1987. Belinda Carlisle. Heaven on Earth. Ooh, baby, you know what that's worth. God, I loved that video when I was 18. Belinda. Have you seen Belinda Carlisle lately? God, she still looks that good. Oh, God. 1987. Played drums on, it says a very special Christmas. But I know, I have to assume, it was John Mellencamp. I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, because he was still his guy. 1989, John Cougar Mellencamp. Big Daddy. He played drums, percussion, background vocals. I don't even know what was on Big Daddy. I'll have to look that up. This is one I did not see coming. 1989, Jefferson Airplane. That was some kind of they kind of got back together, I guess, with Grace Slick, but not with Mickey. Mickey was not an original guy, right? 1989. Oh, yeah, sorry. He played a guest. He was a guest drummer. Maybe he only played on one song. Drums and percussion. Belinda Carlisle, 1989. Runaway Horses. I believe that had Circle in the Sand. I could. Now here's like this 1990. Young Guns soundtrack. Oh, sorry, Young Guns 2 soundtrack. Blaze of Glory. Now, I don't know if he did every song, but it was listed drums and percussion. 1990, Iggy Pop, Brick by Brick. I should have done some research. I did some, but I should have figured out what all the great songs were on these, just so you kind of have an idea. If I figured it out, I'll put it over here. Bob Dylan, 1990, Under the Red Sky, drums. Yeah, skip it a couple. 1991. Let's see if I can just, let's say 91, and we'll just say it's 91 until I move on. Lyle Lovett, You Can't Resist It, drums and percussion. Aldo Nova. God, I love Aldo Nova. Blood on the Bricks. I think that was his last real studio album. Drums, percussion. Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band, The Fire Inside. I don't know what's on that one. Neil Diamond. Sorry, I got the tick early. Neil Diamond. Yeah. Sorry, that's where it goes. It's when you say yeah, that's when I lose it. Neil Diamond, Lovescape. I don't know that one. John Mellencamp, What? Whenever We Wanted, not whatever. Whenever We Wanted. Drums, percussion, vibraphone. Michelle Shocked. Okay, so 1992. I'm moving on. Michelle Shocked, Arkansas Traveler. Indigo Girls, Rites of Passage. 1992. Patti Smith. Patti Smith. Remember Patti Smith from Scandal? Oh man, I love Patti Smith. Michael Penn, Free for All. Drums, and apparently it says drums and drums. Okay, moving on. 1993. Chris Isaak, San Francisco Days. Now, I don't know that album at all. John Mellencamp, Human Wheels. Now, I know that album. Not only did he play drums, he did arrangements. He played bongos and congas and maracas. I don't know what it is. Maracas and shakers. I like maracas and shakers, you know what I'm saying? 1994. Okay, now I did not. 1994. Meatloaf. Bad Out of Hell 2. Back into Hell. Did that do well? Did that have, I Won't Do That? I think it might have. You know, because it might have worked because they did Bad Out of Hell 3 at some point. 1994 still. 1994. I'm moving on. Waylon Jennings. Way More is Blues. Way More is Blues Part 2. Stevie Nicks, Street Angel. I couldn't tell you what's on that. Played drums and tambourine. John Mellencamp, Dance Naked. Drums and percussion. So I guess he's downsizing with John. Lyle Lovett, I Love Everybody. Well, good for you, Lyle. At one point, I guess you loved Julia Roberts. So I guess that worked out. Oh man, I didn't see this. Where this must be. Lyle Lovett's more or less a country guy, but he's got a lot of different things going on. But also in '94, Mary Chapin Carpenter, Stones on the Road. Now I love Mary Chapin Carpenter. At one point, I do believe that was Shut Up and Kiss Me. Cinderella, Still Climbing. I don't even know that one. 1995, Amanda Marshall. On her first album, Amanda Marshall played drums and percussion. Amanda Marshall, Dark Horse, Birmingham. Oh, she was great. Great Canadian girl. Highwaymen. The Road Goes On Forever. Highwaymen. Willie, Waylon, Chris, Johnny. Oh, man. Rod Stewart, A Spanner in the Works. Don't even know some of these. Rodney Crowell, Jewel of the South. Rodney Crowell is a country singer. Meatloaf, Welcome to the Neighborhood. Couldn't tell you. Nothing. 1996, Celine Dion, Falling Into You. Really? Kenny, come on, buddy. Celine Dion? You get around, buddy. You get around. Good job. Jody Messina. I love Jody Messina. Heads Carolina, tails California. If it lands on the side, then you go to Cleveland. Is that how the song goes? John Fogerty. Oh, I'm sorry. We're up to 97. I skipped something. John Fogerty. They must start recording again. Blue Moon Swamp. John Bon Jovi. Destination Anywhere. I didn't see. Is that a single or is that just an album? Is that a whole album? I don't even know. Joe Jackson and Friends. Thank God they were friends. Heaven and Hell. 97. I'm still in 97. Rolling Stones. Bridges to Babylon. He played buckets. Were they full of water? Celine Dion, Let's Talk About Love. Moving on to 98. Smashing Pumpkins Live. Adoration? I don't know that, but he played the Pumpkins. Joe Cocker, Greatest Hits. Now, he must have, did he play on all of them? Obviously, it's just a couple, drums and percussion. Richie Sambora, Undiscovered Soul. I don't know that at all. John Fogerty, Premonition Live. Some of these I gotta skip, like The Very Best of Meatloaf. Like, it wasn't all of them, right? 1999. Oh God, I didn't see this coming. 1999. Greatest hits. Chris Gaines. We all know about Chris Gaines, don't we? There's the Garth Brooks thing. I don't know if you ever played Garth again, but that was Garth Brooks pretending to be an Australian R&B singer, I think. It was a great album. But whatever happened to the movie it was supposed to be a soundtrack of? I don't know. Michael Hutchence. Michael Hutchence. I didn't even know he had a solo album. I did not know. 2000. Tony Iommi? Iommi? Played drums. Ricky Martin. Sound Loaded. Doesn't Ricky Martin usually sound loaded? I could be wrong. Bob Dylan, Inside the Rain, live. Michelle Branch. Are we? Oh, sorry, 2001. Michelle Branch, The Spirit Room. Mick Jagger, Goddess in the Doorway. I haven't been saying anything other. It's always drums. It's always drums. If it's anything different, I'll let you know. Alice Cooper, Dragontown. I don't even know that one. 2002, Bob Dylan, Is This What You Want? Live. 2002, Willie Nelson. Well, I guess he did way more. Willie Nelson, The Great Divide. I wonder if he did any of Johnny or Chris as well. Like, once you do the Highwaymen, don't you have to do, isn't it a deal? You have to do all four of them. Joe Cocker, Respect Yourself. Willie Nelson and Friends, live and kicking. Not alive, but live. Apparently that's a live album. That's my notes say. It's live. Michelle Branch, Are You Happy Now? Meatloaf, Couldn't Have Said It Better. 2004, Avril Lavigne. Sorry, I always do that. Avril Lavigne, Under My Skin. I don't know if that was her first one or not. Drums and percussion. Also, My Happy Ending. So maybe he just did a couple songs on one album. I'm not sure. Oh, God. Ashley Simpson. Whatever happened to that? Nothing. Autobiography. Yeah, page 1, You Suck. Page 2, You Disappeared. Thank you. Kelly Clarkson, Breakaway. That was great. I love Breakaway. Jamie O'Neill. Do you remember Jamie O'Neill? Let's see now. Most of the people that watch this probably like rock. Now, I used to be a country guy, and I'm not ashamed. Jamie O'Neill was an Australian singer. She was really good. When I think about Angels, I think it was There Is No Arizona. She was great. 2005. Sorry, I'm still in 2005. Avril Lavigne, Fall to Pieces. Now, these must have been singles from the same album. Tony Iommi and Glenn Hughes. Fused. I hope they're okay now. I hope they've been separated since. Santana, All That I Am. 2006, we've moved on. The New Cars. What's wrong with the old cars? Old cars are better. New cars suck. The New Cars, It's Alive live. Now, I know that the Cars sort of became the New Cars for a while, but that didn't really work out, did it? 2006, Bat Out of Hell 3. I'm sure he got paid well. Did percussion and drums. Avril Lavigne, The Best Damn Thing. Rob Thomas, Cradle Song. I think that was a single. Striper. No, I didn't see the Garth Brooks thing coming. I didn't see the Willie. I didn't see the Waylon. Striper was last on my list of what the fucks. Murder by Pride. Okay. John Fogerty, The Blue Ridge Rangers rides again. How are the Rangers rides? It hurts my head. 2010, Crocus. Hoodoo. Wow. I didn't even know a lot of this. 2017, you remember Corey Hart? I love Corey Hart. Now, Corey Hart, I did a video about Corey Hart like a year ago. And I don't think a lot of people know that he put out an album just a couple of years ago. 2017, Dreamin' Time Again. And Aronoff played on that. I remember seeing him in the video. And it was it wasn't a full album. It was like 7 or 8 songs. But it was a great album. 2020, Joe Satriani. There's probably where the relationship with him began and started kind of doing things with Sammy and stuff. Joe Satriani, Shape Shifting. Also, 2022, Joe Satriani, Sahara. Also, the Elephants of Mars, Joe Satriani. I don't know if those are singles or not, but this brings us to now, which is right now. The most recent thing that I know of that he's been recorded. When Sammy and Sammy Hagar and Michael Anthony and Joey Satriani and the keyboard player whose name I forgot, who else played guitars and stuff and does a great job. When they went on the little tour last year to do the Best of All Worlds, Jason Bonham was playing drums for a while, but then he had some, I believe his mother had some health issues and he had to go back to England. And Aronoff stepped in, and then Aronoff has just been doing it since then. And they did, maybe a month or two ago, they did a tribute to Eddie Van Halen called Encore, Thank You, Good Night, and Aronoff played on that. And I watched one of the shows, where are they? I think they're at the Strat right now. I'm not sure. Where they're doing their residency. I watched one of the shows, and Aronoff, I think he's like 72 years old. How old is he? You know what, let's look. 72 years old. I look like shit compared to this guy. He's 72 years old, and he's up. That's what I look like, just trying to get out of bed in the morning. And he's just busting heads every single night. Drums better than half the new crap that's out. He's incredible drummer, and that song is really good. And in his way, I think he's doing a little tribute to Alex. And this guy could do anything. If Rush wanted to get back together, I think that the guy they should call would be Kenny Aronoff. I think he's the guy. I think he would do it justice. Now, he has all kinds of styles. He can play with anybody. He can do country, he can do rock, he can do pop, whatever. If there was ever any band that wanted to get back together and they needed a drummer, and that was the only thing holding them back, that's the guy to call, Kenny Aronoff. That's how I feel. So this concludes. I hope it's not as long as I usually do these. Talking about Kenny Aronoff, one of the best drummers that ever lived, one of the best unsung heroes, and a hired gun, really. Like, I know he stuck with John Mellencamp for 17 years, and he's been with John Fogerty for that long, but he's been kind of off and on with Sammy for like 5-10 years as well. Like, once you get a taste of the good stuff, you keep calling. That's just the way it is. So Aronoff, if I had a choice, I'd call. But I know you wouldn't answer. So you got way better things to do than this. Anyways, you made it this far. Please don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. If you really, 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 really like this crap, please do me a favor. And if you ever watch another video, please watch the commercials. Or just let them play. Go to the can. Have a Sando. Crush a Sando. Take a poo. Do what we used to do in olden times, and just pretend you couldn't change the channel. Before you had a remote control, before you had a kid to run up and change the channel for you, just let the commercials go. That's I make a little note on that. It's not a lot. I'd like to stop with the real job crap. I would appreciate that. So as always, like, subscribe. Don't forget to do me a favor and share. Share is a treasure. I don't know if I've mentioned this enough, but Cher and I were married in the 70s for about 32 hours, I believe. Something like that. And I think one of us sobered up and annulments happened. And it was a dark period for me. I was like 8 years old. So anyways, thank you for watching
The Music Snob.
And I hope to see you again soon.
Bye.